Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're first comers, welcome. I just wanted to do a quick video on something very exciting. I got the call from my recruiter this week that I had my medical read approved, and so as I was saying, my recruiter called me with the news that I was able to schedule my MEPS appointment, and I gotta say, I'm super excited. I've been waiting almost a year for this process to happen. I had a lot of questions and I did a lot of research before I was able to get this far, and I want to take some of that information and share it with you. So first and foremost, my biggest thing was making sure that my fiance, Austin, and I were going to be able to stay together. And it's not always a guarantee that when you get your first orders that if you're not married, you don't always get to take that person with you. So my biggest question was, when should we get married? Should we do it before BMT, after tech training? And well, the best thing we came up with was we needed to do it beforehand, so that way he'd get all the benefits of being a military spouse while I was away and a lot of other things. So that was the first thing, and after doing some questioning and asking around, we found that beforehand would be the best option. So when I decided that I wanted to join the military, I was originally in junior high school, but when I graduated high school, I had my welding certification because I went to a tech school and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I decided that I wanted to try college first, and I am 2 classes away from my psychology degree. However, because of financial aid issues, I no longer can afford to go. So I was re-looking at some of the jobs that I was interested in before, and I really advised going to the military, because if you can't afford school or you don't really know what path you want to take, you're only signing up for a couple of years. So I think it's a really great option. I've been talking to my younger brothers. One is 18, one is 16, and the 16-year-old is very into it. My older brother is already in the military, and he is currently out in Arizona, and he has been beyond helpful throughout this whole experience with my questions and a lot of other things. So I started to look into talking to a recruiter again back in April of 2018, and he has been helping me through this whole process. I just took the ASVAB about 3 months ago, and I scored very high. I got an 83, and I pretty much qualify for over 200 jobs. So this whole process of waiting for MEPS and my medical read to be accepted has been a whole long time, and I'm really excited. If you think I'm crying, it's probably because I am. I'm really happy. I can't believe this is finally happening. I feel like I've been waiting a couple years for this, and I'm just gonna do the best I can to help you guys with any questions you have. So some of the questions that I had when I was looking into this was, what are the signing bonuses, if any, and what jobs are those? Now, when I went to the recruiter, he was specifically saying that the jobs they're hiring for right now are mechanical and electrical, and I don't mind those jobs. A lot of the jobs on my list include mechanical or electrical, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. Another question I had was, because I went to college, does tech school take as long for a job? Yes, tech school is going to take however long that it takes for anybody that did take college classes or didn't take college credit. It's a school. You're going to have to go to school for the same amount of time as anybody else. But the benefits of having some college credits are that you go in as an A1C, which is an Airman First Class, an E3, instead of starting as an or Airman. So in basic training, you will be an Airman Basic, and then after basic training, you become an E2, which is an Airman. Unless you have those college credits, you can go in as an E3 to start. So another question I had was, sorry about that. When will I know my first base? you typically don't know your first base or your options for bases until you're in tech school already. So that way they know what classes, what job you have, and what bases require that job to be filled. Another question I had was, what time of year is best to go into basic? Now, after speaking to my cousin who actually lived out at the Lackland Air Force Base, she said the best time of year for heat and everything would be late fall, where it's the most mildest. And I was aiming for that, but with trying to figure out if I was getting married or if I wasn't getting married, I had to delay that option. So after that, I started looking at how long I should sign a contract for. Some jobs will require you to do 6 years. I know air traffic control requires a 6-year enlistment, so it really depends on what you're interested in. Another question I had was, do I get to write letters home in basic along with phone calls? Now, after doing research again, I found that you get about 3 phone calls. One the first time you get to the base, which will be week 0. The next one won't be until week 4, and then week 6. And then graduation will be the following week. One other thing I would like to talk about is quick shipping. Quick shipping is something I'm very interested in personally because I want to get out of here as soon as possible. And with quick shipping is an option that your recruiter will put on your application, which basically after you swear in, if an opening happens for a job you qualify for, they'll give you a call and tell you, hey, you can leave this week. And when you find out, you could have as much as a week head notice or as little as 24 hours. Sometimes you'll have a couple weeks. It all depends. From my understanding, say if you were to go and swear in October, you wouldn't leave until January for sure with a job. It all depends on how needed your job is. So with quick shipping, if somebody, say, backs out at the last second, or if someone gets hurt and they have to redo their medical documents, or they break a leg and have to wait a couple more months, then if they have the same job as you, you would get pulled into their spot for basic and get to leave sooner. Now, you're not in as much control of what job you have. It's almost like going in open general or open mechanical, which you won't get your job picked out until you're in basic training. That's my understanding of it. I could be wrong. I will ask my recruiter more questions so I can help you guys, but I am his first person to do quick shipping, so he might not have as many options, but I do have family members that are in the service already. Another question I had was, when will I be able to go home or visit home? From my understanding, as soon as you graduate basic, you'll have Airman's Week, and then you'll be shipped off to your tech training. Typically, the first time you're home is when you'll be working with your recruiter. He said for me that after I'm done my tech training, I'll come home, I'll work with him for 12 days, and then I will be leaving for my first duty station. So depending on how everything works out, I'm hoping that I'll be able to leave in February and maybe be done by April, and then go off to tech training and definitely let you guys know more. Other than that, I guess just leave any comments you want, any questions you have, and hopefully like and subscribe, and I'll come out with more videos. Thanks.